I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. Hey, this is going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to show you some photos throughout of fish that I caught today, and I haven't fished that long. It's very, very hot, and everybody says that hot days, are no good in that. I've always had extremely good luck during the heat. Heck, my biggest fish have always been caught between about 10 in the morning till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now it's just right around 4:30 in the afternoon, and I've been fishing since 2:30. So that's definitely heat of the day, because we're looking at heat indexes around 100 degrees, temperatures in the 90s. And what am I doing to catch these fish? Well, I'll tell you. There's just a few spots that I look for when it gets like this, and there's always active fish. Remember, bass, their metabolism is run on the water temperature. So the warmer it gets, the more they have to feed, or they're going to starve to death. So they're really going to be hungry. They're going to be going at it like crazy. So what am I going to use? Well, it's a combination of things. If I was fishing along, say, a place where there's a lot of brush and heavy cover and that, I'm going to be flipping and pitching. First fish the outside edges, which I always do, for the most active fish, and then go into the middle for the bigger fish that are really holding tight. But today I didn't do that. I did go into cover, and I did go to where they're holding the tightest, and that's weed cover, deep weed cover. And I'm talking here about 10 to 14 foot deep, because that's what the lake is. That's where, anyway, the deeper is that have the weed beds. So what am I going to use? Well, I wasn't too sure, but I definitely wanted to be using my Blitz Pro Spin. That right there, because I wanted to do more experimenting, and naturally, I just can't give up the natural forage bait green shad swim bait. So that's what I put on, but I'll show you what I did with it. The one thing that I did is a full body run like this. I put it on just like I always do, screw it on just like that, but the fish weren't hitting a straight retrieve. In other words, if I'd let it go down and slow retrieve it like normally you would with an underspin like this, no. The Casey's head like you normally do that, in fact, I was going to pull a Casey's head out, but this little blade I think might have been part of the trick on it. And plus the head's different, because the seahorse head is different than what these are. These are more of like a swim bait head. Anyway, I put this on, and when I cast out, I let it go all the way down to the weed bed, clear to the bottom. And a lot of times I didn't even have to let it go all the way, my line started moving. It already grabbed the bait. There were times that I let it go all the way to the bottom, and they pick it up after it's set on the bottom, or just as I picked it up. So what I did is I started just pumping. I'd bring my rod tip up, let it fall. Bring my rod tip up, and let it fall. The hit was all on the falls, and it was almost like a bluegill. Just tap, and you held up, it was a little bit stiff, set the hook. You didn't know if it was weeds or fish, but I'd say 98% of the time this time it was fish. And another thing that I did, and I'll tell you here, this one, in fact, they already chomped the tail off it. You'll notice right here, I'll put this lure in, this is this much shorter, and I took that much off because this head finally was just chewed up with that spring thing and all of that just finally got torn up. Although the nice thing about that spring type of a keeper, it will hold one a long time. It'll actually rip out more back here across here where the hook is than it will up here, which is okay because it still hangs on to it. Anyway, this one, when I shortened it like that, believe it or not, most of the hits at that time came on a straight retrieve, going slow just above the weeds, and more fish hitting towards shore. Otherwise, I was way out the full length of my cast, and you can tell, and those of you that have watched Dan's Fishing Tales before, you know that these rods I use, they're 8.5 foot steelhead rods. That's for long casting, especially for bass. And then I use my Revo reel, and I've worn one just about out. I can't get any distance out of it at all anymore. And I've got that on here. And no, Revo does not sponsor me. It's just a reel that it really works good for me. That's all I could say. If I could find another one, I'd use it. You know, if I find a different reel, it even works better. There used to be one called an Ultracast. I've got one of those, and I still use that occasionally. That's the old drum style reel, and that's another Garcia product, but it works very, very well, but I don't have it here. It's in the bass boat. But anyway, that's what I did today. And as I said, it's hot. It's very hot. Fortunately, I like very hot weather, so I don't have to worry about that. But the fishing has been good, because in that short of time, I've got 17 bass, and not one of them under 14 inches. I have not got any huge bass yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep fishing or not. But I think I'm probably going to pack and go home and maybe come back again tomorrow, or even go to a different lake. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I've been doing, and that's an idea for you. I mean, don't just say, oh, it's hot, I'm not going to go fishing or whatever. Man, I'd love to fish. Well, if you can stand the heat and stay hydrated, definitely stay hydrated. That's with me. I don't really drink that much. Pepper down here, I make sure he has plenty of water. So if you got a dog with you, like Pepper's always with me, make sure that you got plenty of water for them, and even in the boat or whatever, and give them potty breaks in the boat too, because otherwise you're going to have an accident in your boat, and then you're going to be upset, and the poor dog doesn't, it's not his fault, it's your fault. Anyway, that's another subject. But I wanted to let you know what I did today in the hot weather, and here's some more photos that you'll see, and hey, it's been great. So until next time, get out on the water and have a great day of fishing.